Welcome back, everybody. Jazz, it's not fair if you don't have enough pizza to share with the
I'm
group.
sorry. I'm
Upon
sorry.
being healed,
Greedy
the-
dwarf, greedy with your pizza. Damn it. Oh, cruel. Cruel dwarf. No wonder no one likes you.
Yes.
So the next day, the rain has given up. It's broken. The storm is broken, and you all awaken feeling. I mean, some of you shittier than others, but you're all damp and cold. Some of you are still recovering from stab wounds, but the rest of you are doing mostly okay. And you can see from this vantage point, as the gray light of dawn comes over the hills, you can see down in the plains what looks like a camp, some distance to the north. You figure maybe eyeballing it, maybe like half a day's travel through the grasslands to the north. There's a camp of like tents, and the grasslands around it all sort of trampled flat by
Aha!
human feet.
I was right.
about what?
I told you there would be people here. I knew all the time that they would camp at this spot. This is as I foretold.
I'm completely absently agreeing with you. I'm like, yes, she knew it.
Bernard the prognosticator.
Yep.
Saba, what do your eyes see?
So she looks over, and yeah, um, can I discern like whether or not it's an orc camp?
I mean, yeah, like from this distance, you can see that it's. I mean, let's make a perception. Let's put some dice behind it. Make a perception. We'll say ob at this distance, with the weather being what it is. It's starting to clear up. Let's say ob 2 to get like an idea of the camp. Nice. Okay. All right. So, yeah, you can see what look like tanned hide tents, maybe 20 or so of them, and not like tents in the modern camping tent sense, but like large sort of pavilion tents. So yeah, maybe like that, and also. You can see you don't see any like horses because again we talked about how humans don't really like ride horses, but you do see some like beasts of burden maybe, like not I guess buffalo, like plains like buffalo, kind of grazing in the grass nearby, and from here you can see some humans, human figures kind of waking and moving around around their camp. There's some smoke trailing out from some of the tents.
That's them. It's a good thing we found them first.
You spot what from here looks like a stone structure or statue or something, kind of in the middle of the tent, the little impromptu tent village. You can't really see much more detail of it from here.
Maybe they're settled down for a while.
Of course they are. I knew they would be. I got us here as quickly as we possibly could.
Whatever, let's just go.
And yeah, Saba just like starts walking down that way. And so this is all still just like rolling hills and open plains and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You were kind of up in the rockier area of a nearby set of hills. There are mountains hazily in the distance off to the east, like a long way off, but you're in this sort of grassland valley.
Can you remind me what our like overarching goal sort of where we landed on that?
Sure. I mean, ultimately, it's to become worthy of your destiny, right? Like your people sent you out to gather support among the other clans.
Yeah, I guess I was trying to remember if we came down on anything more granular, like we're going from town to town trying to. Is there a specific person we were
Your
sent to rendezvous
yeah,
with?
like your clan and the Great Plains clan, you know
I'm
each
sort
other.
of sent on like more of like a diplomatic, like,
Yes, yeah.
but maybe kind of imposing
Yeah,
proposition.
your job was to go to the Great Plains clan and to um basically make your destiny known. Be like, I am the chosen one of the human race, and you'd best get on board the train because we're leaving the station. Basically, to have them swear fealty to you or whatever. Basically, or gain their loyalty for the unifying of the tribes to come.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like the hook of fealty. So that can be sort of what we're centered on
Yeah.
in this instance, I think.
Yeah, so that's kind of the plan. Now you don't really know anything about them, and like the last time that the Great Plains clan and your clan really like got in touch at all was like a generation ago. So whoever's in charge now is a different person, and yeah. Okay, so you want to make your way across the plain towards them? You want to head off in that direction?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think I'm like, let's go, and I spur my horse on, and like no one is prepared to move that quickly.
Yeah, right. You're like,
Anymore.
yeah, and like ride off, and they're like, all right, get the cart, put out the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. All right. So you you head down the hill and out into the valley, and it's slow going. Like Gretelin, you're able to walk now, but you're one wound die away from being unconscious again, and yeah, aching every step of the way. Are you pulling your cart, or do you ask someone else to do it? How do you react to your weakened state?
I mean, am I physically able to pull my cart
Yeah,
without like
yeah.
passing out?
Totally. Yeah, you can do all the things that you'd normally be able to do. You're just on the verge of, if you take another wound, of that level of being knocked back
Okay.
out.
Then yes, I absolutely feign my injuries and pull my own cart.
Yeah.
I don't ask anyone for help.
You're like, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Shut up.
I'm fine. This is fine.
Okay. Cool.
Flames. This is fine.
Yeah, your cart's on fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to drink your coffee. Okay. All right. So you're pulling your cart. Octavian is trying to ride out ahead of everybody. Do you slow down, Octavian, when you realize that they're taking their time, or do you just like, you're like, I'll ride on ahead? What do you think? Safe? Dangerous? What's the plan?
I'm just riding on ahead.
Word. Okay.
If you do that, I'm gonna sort of mutter to myself, everyone will read about the day that my liege lord Octavian rode into the town and began the new age of humanity.
Are you just saying that to yourself?
Yes,
or-
I'm
Yeah, sort of like look over at Bernard.
making verses out loud.
Yeah.
Occasionally interjected by yourself with, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Like how Bernard is the narrator of his own story. Like, then I looked over at that elf, and they were looking mean. Why did they look at me like that? I don't know.
The rest of the party were tired. The dwarf was limping.
Was I speaking out loud? I could never tell anymore.
Such a good
No
character.
inner monologue at all. Brilliant. Okay. So you're kind of like thinking over your narrative. Are you like playing your lute as you walk, like trying to be like making up verses about the orc battle,
I think
or
I'm like switching between the lute and then taking notes in my journal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I am trying to do too many things for my hands.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll like pluck a few strings and, oh, that's a good tune, and then stow it away. So there's a lot of stumbling and fumbling.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Okay. And then the elves, what are you doing?
We're walking
Yeah.
to the place, like we're being all stoic and elfy.
Okay, perfect. Standing at a remove. Okay. Well, why don't you roll an observation test for me, Saba? If
Great.
your daughter has observation as well, she can help.
I'm not sure she does. Nope,
Okay.
but I've got it.
Let me just check something here real quick.
What are the circumstances of my roll so I can know what I can fork?
You can fork anything your character is aware of. So if you have like planes wise or day wise or whatever, you can fork that. But
Oh, okay.
yeah. Let me just add. I need to add another character here.
Relevant things I might have. I have fealty wise
Yeah.
and dignity of the Wilderlands, which is an etiquette skill. Yeah. No. Nothing relevant.
Okay.
And my obstacle?
I will find that out for you. 1 second. Okay. Hold on. Give them an advantage. Your ob is 4, please.
Great.
Okay.
I was as successful as I could be.
Yeah, you did everything you could. All right. So as you start to kind of make your way towards the encampment, you lose the camp itself as you descend down into the grasslands because you can't see the tents. You just see the smoke sort of rising in the distance. You can keep yourself headed in the right direction. And the day stays pretty gray and windy. It's not actively raining, but there are occasional like gusts of wet air. And the sun moves overhead, but it just lights the sky evenly as it does. I think around the kind of like as you get closer to the camp, you've been moving through the grassland for a while. I think that you realize maybe just after the fact, and you all come to this conclusion together that you are surrounded. You hear the sounds of shuffling in the grass, and you definitely get this vibe that it's like being made a point that you are surrounded, right? Like they could have just leapt to attack you or whatever, but they're starting to decrease their stealthiness on purpose, whoever it is, to let you know you're basically they're all around you. So you all kind of come to that realization at once. What do you do?
I just stop. I've got my hand on my bow.
Are we completely surrounded? Like we can't even backtrack if...
Yeah, like there's definitely like if you turn around, you're still surrounded in that direction. You don't know by how many or by whom, but
am I with the group here?
Yeah. They've got you surrounded to the point where like you're still further ahead, but you get that same feeling of like being observed and having been followed.
Master Langley, I highly suggest that we run away from this one.
What? I'm like looking back. I'm like, what? Run away? What do you think is out there?
I have no idea. That's the problem, and I can't protect you in this case because I'm still hurt.
You can't protect me in any case, if I recall correctly.
Nah.
I'm just scanning around. I have my sword drawn.
Yeah, you've all stopped. Okay, so out of the grass in the direction like forward, you've been kind of following like a vague path, but the grass is a little shorter. Someone steps out, and she is tall, like probably like 6'6" or so, like quite tall, thin. Probably pale skinned at birth, but quite like sun baked now. She has her hair in two like long, like really long, like never cut her hair long, like braids behind her, and she's wearing like a kind of skirt of like woven grass, and then she's got a I guess like a series of like around her neck, like tattoos, kind of like coming out in like waves. It looks like a sun pattern almost. She's not wearing a shirt. She's got a bow with the like string between her breasts and a quiver hanging from her hip. There's also like a long like skinning knife or something on her hip as well. And she steps out and like puts her hand up to you, and you can see that she's got like it's a tattoo, but probably like henna or like something like that, of like a circle with like radiating lines like in her palm, and she holds it up to you, and she says something in a language that Octavian you maybe you've heard once or twice, but you definitely don't recognize or pick up on it. And it comes across, it sounds like a command. She's telling you to do something.
Can I do a test for foreign languages and see if I recognize?
Yes, yeah, that's you could do it, C-3PO.
It's her left hand or her right hand?
She's holding up her left hand. Yeah.
I put up my left hand.
You're like, whoa.
Hello.
She high fives you. Yeah, you can make that test. Let's check the obs for foreign languages.
Yes.
It's not
Like,
formation fighting. Here we go. Foreign languages.
Yeah.
In the meantime, like despite no one else talking, I'm like, hey, everyone, shut up. Just shut up. And then I'm like intently focused on this person.
Okay, so it is an obscure or thick dialect of your native tongue, or simple or related language. So, yeah, go ahead and make an ob2 foreign language test. Do you have anything that you want to?
I already did it.
I
don't think
I was gonna say, do you have anything to fork or?
I could have forked ancient languages into it, but I doubt that would have helped me.
Yeah, no, it's forkable. Roll an extra d6.
Okay.
I mean, it's not gonna. You can't, but it's important that you know,
Is there? Oh, just roll these. Okay.
Yeah, just go ahead and roll a d6.
Okay. 4.
Okay. So you can understand. So I like that Luke and company gave us suggestions for failure. So you're able to communicate, but screw up the words for numbers, ordinal directions. You can understand what's being said, but can't speak back, or can only use single words and gestures to get across your meaning. So I like the you can understand what's being said, but you can't remember the words. You can't like make up your own sentences.
Yeah.
She's telling Octavian to put his sword away.
Okay. I relay as much. Say, good sir, you must put your sword away. That's all these people want at the moment.
I'm like, oh, what? This? It's nothing, and I put it away.
Okay.
See?
It's far from nothing. It's quite a magnificent sword. But
And
still.
I try to like then. I'm like at the lady in front. I'm like, see, nothing here to worry about. And I try to like gallop forward a little bit.
I'm trying to like give her
my hand like to shake.
Okay. Yeah. So you like nudge your horse forward, and she like takes a step back and like puts both hands up, and she's looking at the horse, and she says something to the horse.
Oh.
Can I understand that?
Yeah. She's like, stop. Like, don't come any closer.
My liege, she seems to be frightened of your stupendous war beast.
And I
Perhaps we should leave.
I pat my as yet unnamed war beast.
Yeah.
Just like be like, whoa, buddy, just hold on a sec.
The horse's name is clearly Buddy.
You know, maybe.
Dang.
I'm like, look, we don't mean any trouble. I am His Grace Octavian Langley.
Partway through what you're saying, Bernard, the woman says she looks up, glances up at Octavian, and is like, "Shut up," and then says to the horse, like, "It's okay, I'm a friend," and like comes forward, like hands up.
Oh no.
Like, what? What? Excuse me.
So I am going to guess at this moment that she thinks that the horse is more important than us for some reason.
The horse is huge and
Okay.
kind of magnificent, but yes.
Does she think the horse is a god or something? Okay.
She's talking to the horse, but she's trying to like calm it. But she's talking to it like you would calm an animal, right? She's like, it's okay. Like, and she's like stepping forward slowly, but like seems annoyed every time. Like, so Octavian, yeah, you started to speak, and she just says something to you, but you, yeah, Bernard, she's like, shut up.
I want to try to run up and before Octavian says anything else, and put a hand on the horse's neck and make weird gestures to communicate. We're here with the horse.
We're with
friends. Can we go with you to village? Good times.
Right. So you're trying to like you're just saying this in the language that like Octavian speaks. So Octavian, you hear this like babbling.
Yeah.
And I think she kind of like looks at you, Bernard, like kind of like scoffs when you come up and start like prattling at her. And Gretelin and Saba and Sia, you are like the rest of her people have like they can see you. They're watching you from the grass, right? And they all have bows or spears, but she hasn't seen the two of you yet. And she keeps walking up, and unless you like stop her, she like puts her hand on the horse's like forehead, and like kind of gives him like a pat on the head.
Whoa.
Yeah, so Octavian, is your horse likely to, because it's your horse, is your horse likely to be like skittish and like pull away? And is it as aloof as you, or would it like bend its head and like let her?
It's very willful, but I think in this situation it doesn't get violent or anything, but it does like react like objectionably for a moment.
Yeah.
Before probably submitting a little bit. Since it doesn't seem threatening. And
I think if the horse pulls away, she apologizes, and like puts her hands out in a posture of like apology and supplication, and then the horse like bows its head again, and she's like muttering to the horse, Bernard, and you can get bits and pieces, but mostly she's speaking quietly, and she's saying like she's doing that thing where she's talking to the horse but not expecting a response, and she's like, how did you get to be so big and strange? I've never seen one like you. Where are your antlers? And like rubs his forehead, and says, why are you letting this man ride you? This doesn't make any sense. And she's just like talking to the horse.
Do I understand any of this?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, I continue to be like, hello, I Octavian, they servants, I big deal.
Right. And she looks up and she says, Bernard, she says to Octavian, she's like, I told you once, I don't want to hear you speak. This is the second time. And she like holds her fingers up.
I looked at Bernard and I'm like, what is the deal? What is she even saying?
I don't want to tell him.
Right, exactly, yeah.
She says, shut up, sir.
Wait, are you serious? Bernard, is she serious?
She
No, I didn't. Sorry. I was making a joke. I didn't say that. Sorry, it was not clear. I can't understand these people.
Oh, right.
I'm just like, there's weird human shit going on.
But I just tell Octavian she has at least two people behind her in the undergrowth who are ready to draw weapons if we. She caution. She advises caution, sir.
Nothing but caution for me. And I look back at her and I'm like, look, swords at my side. Nothing to worry about here. Again, I am Octavian. Who might I be speaking to?
She lets you like ramble. She kind of scowls at you and she gestures to the ground and she says, get down from there.
Sir, I think we might have more success if we were on the same footing as these lowly people. It's better for tactical reasons.
Oh, that's cute, Bernard. But I don't think you know what that means. Are you saying we should dismount?
That's the one.
I like how you say we as like the royal we because you're the only one with a horse.
Yeah.
we should mean royal, but it really just means him and his horse.
Yeah, I don't think so. But look, if you need to say something to her, go ahead, do it. Just can you tell her what I've been saying?
Can I try to roll? Can I roll foreign languages again to try to speak back to her? Or no, I've done that.
Yeah, there's a rule in Bring Me Up called Let It Ride, where once you make the roll,
that makes
you're
sense.
bound to the results.
I think though I just remembered I have persuasion. So can I try to use my terrible speaking skills in a very
Yes, you can make a
persuasive
very
manner?
difficult persuasion test to be like,
Yeah, it's not gonna work,
Yeah,
but-
I mean, it's fine. Okay, so persuasion would normally be her will, but it's going to be her will plus some stuff. Now she hasn't seen Gretelin or Saba and Sia yet, but if either of you want to come up to the front and engage in this conversation, let me know, because she will have a reaction to you. So let's take...
Waiting.
Yeah, I think it's best if I stay hidden at
All
this
right,
point.
so I guess that means she needs some stats. So let's... Okay, so her will is 3, so the odd would normally be 3. But I'm going to make it, because you already failed a foreign language, you can't use your words. I'm going to say it's ob 5.
Okay.
You can roll persuade. You can fork in foreign and ancient languages if you want to.
I'm actually wondering if I should make a falsehood roll and fork in persuasion. And
You could fork in acting. I mean, I guess falsehood is only for if you're trying to lie to someone.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
I
I guess
would.
what's your intent here? What are you trying to communicate?
I want to communicate that. Oh no, I can't do that. I was thinking that we were bringing this horse to them as a gift, which seems like a terrible idea.
That's a bad lie to make now, because you're gonna have to put paid to it later.
Yeah. I literally can't think of a lie.
Right? So this is just
That would be-
persuade, right? So I
Yeah.
guess, what do you want? What do you want her to do?
I want her to let us come back to
Right, to escort you to the
right now.
village? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, so that's gonna be what do you have in persuade?
I have B1.
Okay. It's gonna be nigh impossible.
Yeah.
That's fine. You can try. And trying is what Bernard is best at. So you've got 3 dice, right? 1 for the skill, 2 for the forks. Do you have any other? Do you have like performance or acting or charades wise? Or okay, all right.
Yeah, I've got symbology. Nope, nothing.
All right. Ob
Philosophy?
5. Ob 5, you got 3 dice. You can't possibly succeed, but you got to roll anyway.
No.
Okay, so mark that challenging persuasion test. Yeah, okay, so you come forward, Bernard, and what do you say? What does this look like when you start trying to like charade to her, like, take me to...
I come forward and sort of go, listen, lowly people, we high amazing people, take us into your town. We will eat, drink, and hang out with this horse.
Take us to where you live so we can eat your food and drink your drinks and you can hang out with our horse. And so you start to speak. You're like, lowly people. And she like a cobra, she like suddenly is like right in front of you, and all the force of her like rushing towards you is transferred into her hand, and she just hits you in the chest and knocks you on your ass. Like you just get knocked on the ground. And when she does that, her like guards, like the other warriors of her little group, emerge from the grasses on kind of either side, and now you have like bows pointed at you. Someone points a spear in your direction, and Octavian, a couple of them come up like beside you and like point spears at you up on the horse.
Threatened.
Yeah, so can I react to that at
I guess
all?
yeah. So this is the thing. All this happens, and yeah, you can react. What do you want to do?
I want to draw my crossbow
Okay.
and basically train it on her immediately.
Okay. And you're putting your mask on.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm extremely threatened.
Yeah, totally. Octavian, you pull out your crossbow and point it at her, and someone, you hear, Bernard, you understand, one of the men from the back shouts, a demon! And you see you maybe turn and look over your shoulder, and yeah, you see Gretelin masked down with a group of spear like wielders like pointed at her, and they've all kind of like, and they're like, you can see them like trembling, like they're afraid, but yeah.
I'll quickly mutter out of the back of my head, dwarf. They really don't like that mask. It makes you look really scary.
I don't like them.
Yeah, they're keeping their distance. They're not threatening you. They're just like, oh God, like keep it away from me. And
Perhaps we could use this.
she looks up, and you're Octavian, you're pointing your crossbow at her.
Yeah.
And yeah, she looks up, and Bernard, she says, she's like, what are you doing? Why are you pointing that at me?
Me?
No, that Bernard, that's, you hear her say that to Octavian.
Oh, okay.
Oh. At his sword?
No, the crossbow.
The crossbow. The crossbow.
I'm like, what's going on, Bernard?
Do these people have weapons? They do. They have bows
Yeah,
and
they all
arrows.
have bows or spears. Yeah.
So it's not like they don't know what real weapons look like. She seems confused, my liege.
She just attacked you.
Yep. Sorry.
So, do you know why?
I'm not. Their language is so rudimentary and very crude. It's very hard to speak. They're practically.
Look, well, just tell her to back off. This doesn't need to get ugly.
I'll try from my position, butt in the mud. Say, please stop.
She looks at you, and she says, she just like casts a glance at you, and you're like, you have no weapon or anything.
Yeah.
She just shakes her head and looks back at you, Octavian, and she says, just put down your weapons. And she's not threatening, she's suggesting. She's like, you don't have to wave your crossbow around. There's obviously like bigger problems, and she kind of like looks past you at Gretelin.
My lord, I think we might do just fine with these people if we don't draw weapons.
Again, she attacked you.
That's very, very fair. However, we are outnumbered, and we could get by without bloodshed. And we do need these people to fight our battles. Potentially.
Oh, Bernard, your brand of politics is very, very submissive. Look, Octavian Langley does not back down merely because he is outnumbered. Look at these guys. And I like swing my crossbow to the other people and like back and forth. I'm
Right,
like,
just like waving your crossbow around.
But remember, these could be your people. You could make them so much better.
fine, but if they're attacking me, I am in no position to win them over. So maybe you could explain to me what the problem is.
It's really just the weapons.
But they started it.
You're so right, my wise lord. But it's really just comes down to the weapons.
So, okay. So it sounds like, hold on. It sounds like, Bernard, you're trying to convince Octavian to put his crossbow away, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Can I roll persuasion?
So that's my question. Octavian, could Bernard help you to get to a place where you would disarm temporarily?
With great challenge, perhaps.
Sure. Okay. And it will be. What's your will, Octavian?
It is 6.
Oh God. Yeah. So Bernard, you can go ahead and make an Ob 6 persuade test.
Can I help somehow?
No. I mean, not really.
Yeah, you're not coherent enough to like grasp the situation, right?
Well, I don't.
So
know
hold
what
on. Also,
they're
can we
saying,
just point out that I think I might have heard a new instinct from Octavian, the never back down when you're surrounded instinct, or never back down when you're outnumbered.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
Or like when you've been aggressed against, you must aggress back.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
a
I
belief,
mean,
but
look,
like the
I'm
instinct.
strong-willed. Like that is obvious.
Yeah.
As befits a most noble leader.
I
Bernard
love how
relates to me that they want us to put our weapons down.
Yeah.
So that's what I know of the situation. So I would set my weapon down.
Yeah.
In
I mean, I
response
don't
to
think they're afraid of your weapon. I think they're. Anyway, we have a persuade test to make. Are you? I guess this is the question: are the non-humans helping Bernard? Are you saying something to convince Octavian? Are you like disarming yourselves as a sign
Yes.
of? Okay, so that's how you're gonna help. Okay.
I'm disarming, but I'm also saying, like, sire, this is your opportunity to inspire these people and show them how brave you are. While raising my left hand, my palm, because I think that means
Yeah, it's
something.
the sign. Totally.
Yeah.
But
So
my mask is still on, so I'm still scary.
I'm like,
yeah, I will help with Persuader because at like everyone starts like kind of bickering, and
Yeah.
at one point, Saba's just like, "Enough!" But she's
Yeah.
got that like her
Sure.
voice like through.
I love how all of us like, Colin, you can just sit there on your high horse being like, well, I've got a will 6, so you can't even
yeah,
Literally
can't even
sit on
get
your
at
high
me.
horse.
It's not even
Yeah.
possible.
yeah. Even with Gretelin's contribution, it's like I just like I'm like I basically like face palm, and it's like, is everyone around me just a greenhorn with no conception of how to deal with threat?
So from the ground, go ahead and make
Yes.
make your persuasion
Yeah.
roll. You have two extra dice. So you
This one under modifier.
what's that? Yeah, it goes for modifier. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Forks and Help all kind of pile in
Okay.
that way.
Great. And the ob was 6.
Yes, the ob is 6.
Okay. Oh, great.
All right. So he remains unconvinced, and not only that, but I think so. One of the other like hunters, a man. They're all dressed kind of in a similar like the grass like skirt, despite the fact that it's cold. Like it's like you would want to wear clothes, but they're not. There seems to be something there about that. And so a man like steps out, and he's got a tattoo like on his like left pectoral muscle of a similar like a circle with like kind of fire or lines like coming off of it. And he steps up while you're all bickering, and he says, you catch him say, he says, Rubati, we should take them into the village. Put the demon in chains where it belongs, in the shrine. And she's like, it's not a demon, fool, it's a dwarf. And he kind of like looks insulted, and he's like, how am I to know? I've never seen a dwarf before. And she makes fun of his intelligence. She's like, you wouldn't know one from a stone. And he like kind of scowls, and he says to her, we should take them to see Habani either way. And she kind of like puts her hand on her chin and like looks at all of you. And she says, a dwarf would make a fine prize. And that mask, she kind of like squints. Yes, I think we will. And she kind of shakes her head and says, they don't understand anything we're saying anyway. That one, and points at you, Bernard. That one has the spark of intelligence, but they're all apes. Like, leave the Iron Man on his horse. And she kind of like looks at the horse apologetically. We'll get all of this sorted out in the village. And she walks over, Octavian, and like puts her hand out to you.
I like first look back, smirking to my comrades, and I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. And I take her hand.
Yeah, you like reach out to take her hand. She pulls her hand away, and she's like, "No, you idiot, the reins." But you don't understand that. She just like says something to you.
Too slow.
Yeah, she pulls her hand away, like, "Don't touch me." And she's like, "Give me the reins." Like she's gesturing, like.
I'm just like, whoa, hey. And I looked at Bernard. I'm like, what is her problem?
Wants the reins, my liege.
The reins of my horse.
I am the messenger.
He's still got his crossbow, and he's like waving it around.
So yeah, I
Points
have
it at you, Bernard. What do you mean the reins?
I have my crossbow sort of up in one arm and the reins in my other other now, and I like rein the horse around and do like a little spin, just to show like that I'm not willing to sort of submit to that.
Right. And she shakes her head and she says fine, and turns her back on you and starts to like walk up this path.
Well, they don't seem to like us very much, but they're taking us into the village.
As honored guests, I assume.
Not quite.
So surrounded by these folks, you you start to make your way towards the village. Gretchen, do you take your mask off, or do you keep it on? Okay, all right. So they keep a wide berth and like keep spears pointed at you.
I'm still a little worried.
Yeah.
Are they reacting to me?
They're very distracted by Gretelin, so they might not know your true nature. They've
because
probably
I'm
also
like
not
I
seen
have
an
like
elf
my
before.
headscarf on, like I'm all kind of concealed. So I just seem like I'm really tall.
I like have my hands out as if to be like, I mean no harm, but I still have this like horrifying mask on.
You're doing your scary demon dance, and they're like,
yeah. So to them, it just looks like I'm like
you're casting spells on them.
Yeah.
Your wavy arm game is on point tonight, Jess.
All right, if they're not especially paying attention to me, then I think I'm just going to sing my Go Invisible song and fucking peace out.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's the traditional elven phrasing for that maneuver as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Peace the fuck out.
So I'm going to sing the Threne of the Chameleon.
Threne of the Chameleon, okay. And it's stealthy, right? It's like open-ended stealthy.
No, this is a spell song, which gives me advantage dice to my stealthy skill and makes me go invisible.
Excellent.
So people can't find me unless they have an applicable instinct or trait, or like take the time to like actively look for me. They just, if they don't do that, they won't see me at all.
Well, you don't need to roll. I'm gonna just say yes to this because it makes sense. They're not really paying attention. There's lots of distraction.
And the song comes out as like barely a whisper.
Yeah, totally.
And then I just like light just like bends around me and I'm not there anymore.
Now that only applies to you though, right? Not your daughter.
Yeah, can I maybe I think maybe it only works for me.
I think
so
too. Yeah. She's like, Mom, damn it.
Okay, well no, if I have to, it only works for me, that's no good.
Yeah. She can use regular stealthy, but yeah. Does she have stealth? Does she have that skill? No?
She's not good at sneaking, only I am.
Yeah, so that's the choice. It's you alone or her, and I'll give it to you either way, but
Yeah, never mind, we just follow along.
all right. Okay.
But I could do it if I wanted to.
I believe you. You could. You let me know if you change your mind.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do I know what a Habani is that they mentioned they were taking us to?
It is a proper name. It's a noun you don't recognize. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not the name of a thing.
Okay.
Habani is a person, probably.
I was wondering if it was like a witch or something.
Yes. No, it's not a title. It's a person.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. So, so you make your way into the tent village, and you pass the first few tents, and there are folk out doing like chores, like hanging hides, and and talking, and they see you, but they don't pay undue attention. Everyone's pretty dressed pretty similarly, despite the cold weather. And you are led through the tent area to a kind of open space in the middle where that stone structure is. And looking at it now, Saba, you can see it looks like a monolith or a plinth or something. Like it's a flat on four sides with a triangular or a four-sided pyramid on the top, mostly flat on the bottom. There are holes in the bottom for what look like wooden poles to go through. And then those poles, they've been removed and set up on end around in a circle around this big monolith. And the monolith is carved with like on all surfaces with like runes or something of some kind. There's markings, strange symbols etched all over the surface of the thing. But not like pictograms, not like drawings, but like sigils.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Saba kind of scowls at it.
Okay.
I really want to go look at it.
The stone is like fire blackened, especially around the bottom, less so at the top. But it looks like it's been put into a large fire, like more than once. It's burned. Yeah, and then across from this, there's like the sort of biggest tent in the area, and its doors are like open, and you can see kind of inside, but it's shadowy because it's kind of dark out. So they lead you to this area. Okay, you wanna walk up to it?
Yeah. I put my hands on it. I like finger the etchings. Like
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't think you get a choice or a chance because you walk up and you start to like go to touch it, and the woman that was leading you does that like cobra thing again. Only this time her like skinning knife is like at your throat, like it's like under the chin of your helmet. And Bernard, you hear her say no, just like one syllable. Pretty clear to you too, Gretelin. Like,
Yeah.
she wasn't
sort of,
like
take a
pancakes.
knee. But with my mask still on, I like take a knee.
Okay,
As
yeah,
if
you like take a step
to,
back.
like,
Okay.
Step back.
She sheaths the knife and shakes her head and she's like, "Stupid dwarf, you don't touch the walking crypt."
Ooh.
Oh.
So Bernard is like interested.
And to you, Bernard, it's like a loose translation. It could also mean like the moving tomb or like the grave that walks. It's hard to. There's some grammatical like it's one of those like sort of spiritual names where like it's a phrase in and of the name, but that's the closest you could approximate. Yeah, the walking crypt.
So I'm like really, really into this thing, and I really want my librarian need to discover things. Interest is super peaked, and I would really like to go up and study it and roll symbology to try to understand what is written here.
Okay. Yeah. So just like at a glance, you'll
Yeah.
have a better chance if you take your time and like really get to examine it. But at a glance, I could tell you, maybe what you.
I mean, I really want to take my time, but I don't think they're going to let us stand here
Sure.
for ages. So I'll just take a glance at it.
Okay.
Can I just like whisper in her ear some random knowledge about etching?
I mean, you can help if you want, if you have a skill.
Yes, that's what I want to do with etching.
Okay. All right. I think if you're just glancing at it, let me look at the obs for symbology. Let's see here. Symbology, obscure religious symbols plus at a glance. Let's call it ob 5.
Okay. How does helping, like, how much does that help me? The etching.
It gives you an extra die.
Okay.
Yeah. You get an extra die from Gretelin helping you.
It is etched in a ritualistic style.
Okay, I fail.
Oh, so close though.
Yeah.
You're good at symbology. Okay. You think if you had more time to like sit and look at it, maybe take some rubbings,
Yeah.
consult your book. Like you're just at a glance as you walk by, you're like, nope, don't know what that's about. There's something unsettling about it though. Like there's something about the symbols that you recognize but can't put your finger on, and the fact you don't recognize them is a little like unsettling. You're like, when you're like, I should know what this means, and it's bad. It's like seeing a sign that's obviously a warning sign, but you don't know what it's warning you not to do.
I've literally got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then I think that the woman like shoos you away from it. She says, she's like, stay away from that. It's not your concern. And she gestures to the tent and she's like, there, go that way.
I like try to remember the word for librarian in her language, but can't do it. So I
There
just like
isn't one.
say books.
Yeah, you're like book having. Even book, their language doesn't have a word for book. It would be like
right.
many pieces
Letters.
of paper inside a leather object, but it doesn't like
Word
Words.
yeah. Word haver.
And then I give up and I just walk over wherever she wants to.
Try and preserve words.
Exactly. Word in tumor. So what are you still, Octavian, you still like riding your horse right through the town?
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm staying with the group, and I don't know. I think at some point I'm like as if about to acknowledge like something serious or like what just transpired. Like, does anyone? And I'm looking around at the people here, and I'm like, does anyone else think it's a bit nippy in here?
Yeah, it's cold
Like-
out.
And that's it.
Yeah, no, you're just like,
I'm
it's
just-
weird. They're not
I'm
dressed.
looking for like the acknowledgement, but clearly no one is like interested in my concern.
Okay. Yeah, they lead you still like under guard. Gretelin, did you take your mask up to look at the? Did you take it off to look at the plinth?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. All right. So still armed for battle or whatever.
Still scared.
Cool. Okay. All right. So they lead you up to the outside of the tent, and she says your escort says to you, Bernard, about Octavian. You know, he's not going to be able to ride that thing inside.
Might need to get off your horse. Good sir.
Why?
Well, it's a tent. And
You're just like, fuck it, I'm going inside.
Sir, it's a tent.
Right, a tent. Do they not have? Do they not have fortresses?
that doesn't appear so, my lord. These are clearly very savage people. They're living in leather tents.
Of course. Well, I guess you're right, Bernard. Is there someone to tend to my horse? Insert name
They
here.
seem to be very fond of him. I'm sure he'll be taken care of.
All right then, and I dismount, and sort of lead the horse to someone, like
Yeah.
not even someone who's like willfully coming to attend to the horse, but I just like lead it to the first person
Give
nearby.
it to someone.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So you're led, I guess, into the tent. Like they gesture. She gestures into the, into the tent. And what do you do? Do you all start to go inside?
Yeah.
Okay.
I yes. Proceed inside very close to Octavian.
Okay. So as you start to funnel in, the woman stops you, Bernard, and she says, "I know you can understand me, even though you're mute. I know you can understand me. You need to tell him to be respectful. This is Marta Twicegourd tent, and she's not going to put up with this. I'm very kind. She's not."
That sucks. I try to communicate. I just stick to saying like, my lord, servant, lower, higher.
She just
Big
she
guy.
just shakes her head. She's like, "I don't understand what you're saying. I don't know why you don't just speak our language. Tell him not to be rude."
I like drop my not very patient veneer and just like get frustrated and say like, well, why don't you speak our language? It would be a whole lot easier.
So I think that little
Why are you such savages?
I like that little outburst. You're like, "Why don't you just speak our language?" And then I think as we're following you into the tent, a woman's voice from the other end of the tent says, "Well, some of us do." And you like look over, and we'll take a break here, and I'll reveal the NPC, the ominous NPC when we get back.
Nice.
So stick around. More shenanigans when we return. Be right back.